Hi, I'm Rolf Perelius with Shooter's Paradise. I wanted to speak with you for just a minute about self-defense. And we hear a lot about getting started and what you're going to do and how you would affect your self-defense. These are very important things, but one of the most important and one of the most overlooked aspects of self-defense, actually defending yourself, is knowing when to stop. It's the heat of the moment. You've never been through an experience like this. You're fighting for your very life. Knowing when to stop is critical. It's one of the hardest things to do. So, we have some cases we can look at to help us understand how the courts look at this, how juries, a jury of our peers, right? How juries look at knowing when to stop, how critical it is to know when to stop. Recently, we have a LA police officer, Tony McBride, who's also, interestingly, a competitive shooter. So she has a high degree of skill in the use of her firearm. She responded to a call, a guy with a knife. She rolls up, and I think it was within like a minute and a half, the whole thing was over and done with. It happened very, very quickly. So she rolls up, gets out of her cruiser, and the guy turns and comes toward her. And I think he's got a razor knife in his hand, if I remember correctly. So at that point, she gives verbal commands, draws her firearm. I don't believe she had a taser on her. I think they have special units that have tasers there. So I don't believe less lethal was an option for her at that point in time. So she ends up firing the gun as the guy was coming toward her, a total of 6 times. And this is a very interesting case to look at. So the first 2 shots that she fired, and she didn't fire very rapidly. For the average citizen, she probably fired pretty rapidly, but not very rapidly. She's capable of firing much more rapidly than she did. So the first 2 shots she fired caused the guy coming toward her with this cutting instrument to go down on the ground. And then he tried to get up. And as he was trying to get up, she fired another 2 shots. And they were not extremely rapid shots. And then, apparently, from the information I've been able to put together, the guy that came toward her after those 4 shots, he was then down on the ground, and she fired another 2 shots. And apparently at that point, he was not trying to get up. So, of course, we have a firestorm around this incident that happened. Right or wrong in regard to the firestorm around it, I don't know. So, the LA Police Commission has looked into the shooting. I don't know where this stands with the DA out there. I don't know where this stands with her boss yet out there. But the LA Police Commission has stated, the report came out not long ago, that her final 2 shots that she fired when apparently the guy was on the ground were not justified. What this means is she can be charged criminally for those final 2 shots. This individual died, so the charges would be some kind of a homicide, a murder charge. That's nothing to take lightly. That's extremely serious. So in this case, had Officer McBride stopped shooting at 4 shots, the LA Police Commission said those first 4 shots were justified. Her final 2 were not. So had she stopped at 4, she'd probably be in the clear when it comes to looking at a potential criminal charge. As it stands, she's probably very nervous at the moment, and as she should be, of potentially having a murder charge leveled at her for the final 2 shots. So what we can learn from this is it's absolutely critical that if we use force, we only use the force that we absolutely have to use to prevent somebody to hurt us. We cannot get our licks in. We can't make them pay. We can't do any of these things. We have to stop the moment they're no longer about to kill us. That's what it amounts to. We're allowed to defend ourselves. We have a God-given right to protect ourselves. And the United States Constitution exists to protect us from government taking away God-given rights. I have a God-given right to protect myself, but that right is only to protect myself. I don't have a God-given right to make other people pay for what they did to me. So I have to stop using force at the moment that they are no longer a threat to me. If I'm using lethal force, if I'm using a gun and shooting them, I have to stop shooting as soon as they're no longer a lethal threat to me. That's an incredibly hard thing to do, but it's a very important concept because we can do everything right as we lead up to this event where we have to use violence to save our own lives. And at the last moment, we can fire one shot, two shots, however many it is, too many. You fire that one shot too many, and now you can be facing a murder charge. Now, this doesn't apply to a string of shots that are fired very rapidly. Bang, 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 bang. They're not going to say, well, that final bang, that final shot was not justified. You shouldn't have fired it. That's not the case. But if I go bang, 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 it's possible, based on the circumstances, that that final shot may not be justified and it may have been murder. See, I'm allowed to defend myself, but I'm not allowed to then take advantage when I have the upper hand. So the key thing is to remember that we can only use force to defend ourselves. As soon as it's no longer defending myself, then it becomes me attacking him. And that is a very bad thing and something we need to look out for. So, case of Tony McBride, we're looking at a total of 6 shots. The first 4, LA Police Commission said, Officer McBride, those first 4, you were good. They were fine. We don't have any problem with you shooting those first 4 shots. Those final 2, we have a real problem with that. So think about that, put it in the back of your head, ruminate on it. I've got another video I'm making that's going to go in depth with a couple more cases of use of force and using force too much, too long, and when we need to stop on that. That's going to be on our Patreon page. If you're interested, go find our Patreon page, Shooter's Paradise, and we've got a number of videos for you there. Thank you very much.